What's up, everybody? Josh Engleman here for The Process. Tuesday, September 6th. Taking a look at last night's MLB results. We're going to break down where everybody was in the relay throw and the mini max. I did not have the success that I was looking for, but that is okay. So we're going to break down all of that. And then we are going to take a look at all of the contests for Thursday's NFL Showdown game. Kicking off the NFL season. We want to know, what should we be getting in on Thursday? That's what we're going to do today. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter, and then click the link in the description of this video. You see the banners on the screen. Prize Picks, presenting sponsor of this show. You get a deposit match bonus of up to $100. You can't really beat it here. So click that link. You'll be good to go just from clicking that link. I don't got to give you guys a promo code any longer. You can just click it and be good. Now, if you only have $50 to put in, they're only going to match with 50, but up to $100, they will match whatever you do. Plenty of tools at Stokastic.com that I think will help you out as well. So shout out to Carney259, picked up the dub yesterday in the relay throw. That's $50K on 100 lineups. And then Twine Tickler, one bullet, 20 grand. That is a decent return. You needed some combination of the Angels and Giants last night, which I had to a degree. Kind of frustrating. I'm going to pull it up in the mini-max here, but I could just show quickly. I had 8.5% of the Giants. I had 27% of the Angels. I did get some lineups up towards the top. Pitchers were not, I didn't have what I needed from a pitching perspective. I had a lot of Brown, and that worked out pretty well. But I was lighter on Snell. I was lighter on Lynn. We're going to see that in a second, and that just didn't give me enough. And I did it again. Just didn't give me enough combinations to get all the way to the top. I actually don't even think that I need to hop back in here. But anyway, I have the breakdown. We can go ahead and take a look at it. And this is what we have. I'll make it bigger on the screen for everybody. But this was last night. And I don't think that there's too much to glean here. From a five-man stack perspective, there's basically no difference between the relay throw and the mini-max. 2% difference on Detroit. You know, Houston was like a little over 1%, but none of that looks crazy. It seems to me that from a five-man stack perspective, what you see is what you get yesterday. There was no real, other than the fact that the mini-max isn't stacked enough, there wasn't really any major difference here that I could point out and say like, oh, I missed this or I shouldn't have done that. Like, was I heavy on the Giants yesterday in relationship to the field? Yeah. I mean, that's going to be more of a testament to pitching ownership, I think, than anything else. I don't have any regrets. There's nothing that I would really change from a stack perspective. What I do have are regrets from pitching, though. And honestly, I don't even have a good answer as to why I got to what I got to. I can make this even bigger. Let's go boop, 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 boop. Yeah, now I think everybody can see those numbers for sure. So my most exposed pitcher yesterday was Tristan McKenzie. He was one of the more over-owned people in the mini-max, so I consider that a mistake. Brown was actually over-owned in the mini-max. I feel like that's less of a mistake because of his salary. I'm honestly a little surprised that the relay throw didn't get to more of Brown. I thought he stood out a lot. Not something I would necessarily want to change. If I'm ever going to get to a cheaper pitcher, I'm not going to be too mad about the directional accuracy there. But McKenzie, I've been higher on McKenzie all season, so I'm not entirely surprised that I was. But for last night, I think that I had way too much. Similarly for Andrew Heaney, 31% owned in the mini-max, 25% owned in the relay throw. That's one spot where I actually was lighter, so I'll take that as a victory. I had 18%. I didn't have any Brady Singer, who was arguably the worst option you could get to. 10% owned in the mini-max, 4% owned in the relay throw. Happy that I didn't get there, but the biggest piece that I missed, I got to 30% Snell. He was 45% owned in the mini-max and 58% owned in the relay throw. Similarly, I was a little light on Lynn. He was a little bit more owned in the relay throw. Same for Suarez, who I did not get to. So I think I missed the mark yesterday. Don't really know why. I'm always light on Snell. He's so volatile that I generally don't mind. He's always like a half pitch away from, I don't even know what a half pitch would be. You guys know what I mean. He's always like he's always a step away from just like walking two guys, two bloop singles, and all of a sudden his start is just over. But when he's on, he just mows people down. Maybe need to give a little bit of a bump to strikeout potential or something along those lines when I'm sorting, because to be light on Snell last night, to me, unequivocal mistake. And I don't like the fact that I was a little bit lighter on Lynn, but I don't really mind that. Like, I don't care too much that I didn't make the right stand for Lynn and McKenzie, and Lynn was in a different price range, but I don't hate that one as much because I still did get to 30 and he was still in the 30s. Suarez was a little bit of a miss, nothing crazy, but as I look at this, there were 3 things that I shouldn't have done and 1 thing that I should have done. The 1 thing that I should have done was play more Snell, and I didn't. So to me, that's a mistake. The 3 things that I shouldn't have done were play a lot of Heaney, play a lot of McKenzie, play a lot of Singer. I didn't really play a lot of Heaney, almost half the field, or close to half the field in the mini max. So I'll consider that a success. Big miss to me in terms of McKenzie. I should have just had more Snell in lieu of the McKenzie ownership. Even if I just went 40-40 there, I'd feel a little bit better, but that still wouldn't be enough. And then Brady Singer, I'm happy that I only had 1%. Did not grade out well for me and was the worst pitching option that you could get to in the mini max. So bit of a mixed bag from yesterday. Did have a couple lineups get into that top 1%. In fact, I don't have it up here anymore. I could pull it up quickly. Now that I realize that this just sorts to the top, it's much faster. I did have 3 lineups get into the top 1%, so you needed to be in the top 357. That worked. Got a couple more in the top 2%. So I can't be too upset, but given the amount of San Francisco and the Angels that I had, I was hoping to be a little bit better off. I had, a grand total of 35% aggregate Angels and San Francisco. The field had 16 or 18, depending on which contest. Fact of the matter was I didn't have the right pitching combinations to get there. So that's a bit of a bummer. I had what I needed, well over the field on the Angels, just didn't matter enough, unfortunately. That's baseball for yesterday. We'll definitely take a look at baseball again tomorrow from a results perspective. Big 12 game slate. At least it's 12 right now. We could possibly lose a game. We shall see. Now, what I think everybody is going to be interested in is about to come up right now. That would be the contest evaluation for Showdown. Rams and somebody, I think. Maybe it's the Bills. Is it Rams-Bills? It might be Rams-Bills. You know what? It is Rams-Bills because I watched a video on YouTube where someone combined both cities' like foods. So they made buffalo chicken fried ravioli or something along those lines. So that's how I know that it's Buffalo and the Rams. But these are the contests sorted from 1% payout relative to buy-in. The best thing that you can get into from that perspective would be the bootleg. It's a $33 buy-in, 150 max, which means it's going to cost you about $5,000 to get in, and you're going to only have you're going to have 2% of the entries in the field. This is a very, very expensive and, in my opinion, very difficult contest. Not one that I want to touch all that much. If you can get into the Thursday Millionaire, it's a milli up top, $3 million prize pool. There are 355,000 entries, $10 to get in, so $1,500 to max. When you max it, you're only 0.04% of the entries, so it's going to be soft. It's very difficult to win. You need to make lineups that are going to be a little bit weirder in order to try to lower those duplicates, because dupes are the chalk is just going to be aggressive, but the payout structure is fantastic. So if you have the means, please go for it. Now we can actually start talking about contests that I think people can enter, and I'm going to start picking them off one by one as I work my way down. The Huddle, $5 single entry contest, 150,000 prize pool, 35,000 entries in this contest, which means one, I'm going to get in it 39 times your buy-in if you get into the top 1%. The top 1%, obviously, top 357 out of 356,000, or no, 35,600. But I love the payout structure here. It's going to be the softest single entry contest that you're going to find, because you just can't corner the market. There's going to be a lot of bad money in this contest. So if you're a low dollar player, this should be the first thing that you're getting in. Similarly, if you are more interested in a 150 max that pays out, that's going to be a little bit softer, that would be the Flea Flicker. $5 to get in. It's for each entry, 150 max, about 12,000 entries, 50K prize pool. We're talking about, 38, 39 times you're buying. I'm going to remove those decimals. I don't think we need that any longer. There we go. 39 times you're buying. Looks great. If you got $750, I think that's probably the contest you should be 150 maxing. It's going to look a little bit better than the mini max. If you don't have the $750, you're going to need to bring it down to the mini max. Then we get into a bunch of single entry contests: the pylon, the bubble screen, and the daily dollar. Now, there's only one daily dollar, or there might be one lower than this. I've only looked at 10K prize pools or bigger, but there are two bubble screens. One here, they're both $15 to get into. One has about 2,000 entries. The other has about 4,000 entries. Prize pool is doubled in the bigger bubble screen. But in my opinion, the payout structure is better in the smaller one, and that would be my recommendation. I'm also going to get into the pylon for sure. I'm going to get into the bubble screen. I'm going to get into the dollar. All of these look great at the top of the list, unquestioned. Next up, the safety. $2 buy-in, 20 max, 6,000 entries, 10K prize pool. Love the payout structure. Should be incredibly soft. This is another one that I just have to get into. So we're up to $64 now, average of 36 times your buy-in when you hit the winner. And then it gets a little blurry. It kind of depends on what you're trying to do. Mini max, first down, cover 4, the other bubble screen. I think they all look pretty similar. Even the play action as well. That's the $3.20 max. I don't have much of a preference. They're all relatively soft. Some are going to be harder to win than others. There's 120,000 entries in the mini max, 150 in the first down, 160 in the play action. So evaluate that however you would like. I personally am going to take the shot at the mini max because I love max entering. So that's going to give me $139 in entries and an aggregate of 35 times my buy-in. That works for me. Best I can say. If you're asking me which contest you should avoid, I probably wouldn't take many shots at the goal line. That's a $75 buy-in, 3 max, 180 entries. That is going to be a very, very difficult field to beat. I don't love the payout structures for some of these contests at the bottom. If you're going to play the spy, play the smaller one before you get in the bigger one. If you're going to play the red zone, play the smaller one before you get in the bigger one. I think the moral of the story here is going to be, if you see two contests with the same names, chances are the smaller entry field is a better payout structure for you, and that's where you guys should be looking. But for now, what I'm going to do, it's going to be a little bit north of $100 because one, there's just great contests for the first week, and two, I just want to play a little bit more for Showdown. So the huddle, the pylon, the bubble screen, daily dollar, safety, and the mini max, $139. I think the contests are relatively soft. I like a couple of these single entry type joints. I'll probably be playing something in the neighborhood of 174 unique lineups, maybe a couple overlaps here depending on where we react. But like a lineup that I play in the mini max, there's basically no chance that I would play that in the bubble screen. One of these contests has 2,000, the other has 120,000. So for the bubble screen, for the safety, honestly, to a lesser degree, to the daily dollar and the pylon, like you can afford to eat a little bit more chalk. For the huddle, you probably got to get a little bit more squirrely when you're putting in lineups. But for the mini max, I'm going to have a lot of low-owned trash in different orders. And we will absolutely, Friday morning, be evaluating what it looks like to 150 max, the mini max, in comparison to probably the Thursday Millionaire and maybe the Flea Flicker as well. I think that would be an interesting combination. So we'll look across all three of those contests at the very least. No less than the mini max and the Millionaire, that's for sure. But we're going to see a lot of very interesting details when we go over that ownership. I think we'll see some massive swings that look way bigger than what we saw for baseball. But that is the first slate of the NFL season. It will be a showdown slate. Those are the contests I'm going to get into. If you guys have any questions at all, whether that's baseball or now that we're into football, anything you guys want to see, we've got a lot of time to dig into some higher level stuff. So let me know in the comment section or hit me up on Twitter. If there are things you want to see on the process each morning or afternoon, as the case may be for today, please let me know. I am happy to dig into everything you guys want to see. So That's where we're going to leave it for now. Thanks to Prize Picks for being the presenting sponsor. Make sure you're signing up using the link in the description of this video. Good luck on everything you're doing. Good luck if you're playing baseball tonight or any other sports that happen to exist. I will talk to you guys later. Peace.